Are you excited to finally run the family restaurant? I'm more excited for you and Dad to finally go get to travel. Well, you have your work cut out for you. It isn't just about smiling and serving food and the drinks. It's very demanding. I've worked here since I was 14 and I've done every job in the restaurant. Working here is one thing, but being the one for calls the shots is another thing. Don't worry, we've got a month to make sure I'm not in over my head. Did you talk to your father about your proposed the change to the restaurant? I tried, but I couldn't get a word in each word. He told to me like I'm a child. He probably thinks your ideas are too expensive or they just won't work. Maybe if I choose one project to start with, he'll get on board with it. I think his mindset is that the restaurant has stood the test of time as it is. So why change it? Understand. I'll suggest something small first. I know you're excited to take over the family restaurant, but your father and I have some concerns about new plans. Mom, I explained to Dad that I just want to freshen up the place. I know you think it's just a huge simple change, but it's serious construction work. I've already talked to a constructor about adding a patio for extra tables. He said they can knock it out in a few days. It's never the same for Milo. Okay, let's all sit down and talk about it. Milo, I like the changes you're making to the menu. Your father even said, why didn't I think about that? I think those items will bring in customers who wouldn't normally come to a steakhouse. Vegetarians and vegans have a hard time eating out with their meat-eating friends. Those bowls and the salads should change that. I've done my research and have my finger on the pulse of today's restaurant industry. I think your father is finally realizing that he should be ready to pass the touch soon. Welcome back from your trip. I hope you won't wonder about the restaurant the whole time. Well, after working in and seeing this place running like a well-oiled machine, I feel better. The good weather and the new patio brought the customers out in droves. Would you be interested in hiring me as hostess a few nights a week? Are you trying to find a way to keep an eye on me? No, I just want to work at the exciting new restaurant in the neighborhood. Do you always chalk food out on the date printed on the rubber? If so, you are probably a member of Gen Z. The reason for this, according to a poll done in the UK, is that older generation grow up at the time when past people date were commonly used. Older people had to learn when food was no longer edible based on whether or not it smelled, tasted, or looked bad. The further back we get away from this so-called expiration date, the rest of food was wasted. In fact, honey, which never truly goes bad, is required to have an expiration date on the label in some countries. Do you frequently spend more money than you intend to, so you don't miss out on saving a little money? For example, if an online stop requires you to spend $100 in order to get free shippings or savings or perhaps $15, do you find yourself going on a shopping spree and spending extra $50? This is known as saving, meaning spending in order to save. What it can occasionally be a smart move. In the long run, it can cost you a lot of money. These perks, the stories often cost them anything, since they are generating more income. Do your math carefully before you fall for those common detail tricks. Do you think you have what it takes to be a spy for the CIA? If you are smart, physically fit, good with languages, and a little bit sociopathic, you might be just what they are looking for. You read that rest look correctly, while the CIA doesn't recruit for sociopaths. They do seek out people with sociopathic tendencies who are willing to manipulate others and do what it takes to complete their mission. True sociopathic is almost impossible to control, so the agency does its best to avoid them. Those who show some sociopathic tendencies are the ones who rise through the ranks and become leaders in the agency. Chocolate and Valentine's Day go hand in hand, but as climate change wreaks havoc on the regions that grow cocoa beans, the source of chocolate, the heart-shaped box of Valentine's chocolates could be in danger. High temperatures and irregular rainfall put those regions on the on the threat as the climate for growing cocoa is very specific. Four countries in West Africa grow 70% of the world's cocoa in the past decade. Those countries have seen a rise on around 21 days a year with temperatures above 32 degrees Celsius. If this trend continues, scientists believe we may be heading towards a cocoa crisis affecting not only chocolate consumers, but everyone involved in growing it. We've all heard the saying, left is the best medicine, but in this era of high rates of depression, laughter may be the best alternative to expensive and risky antidepressant. In the UK trials taking places to provide a prescription for a comedy to see if it will improve people's mental health. This program is in line with the efforts to lower costs for the National Health Service and avoid prescribing medications when an improvement in one's social life may do the trick. Earlier research show that relieving a person of feeling of isolation and stress through laughter has positive effect that lasts up to 24 hours after each dose of comedy.